In Hebei province, there was a wealthy family that wanted to hire a teacher. Suddenly, a scholar named Hu came, introducing himself and recommending his own qualifications. The host invited him in for a conversation. Hu spoke in a cheerful and straightforward manner, and the conversation between them flowed well. The scholar introduced himself as Hu proved to be a diligent teacher with extensive knowledge, far surpassing the typical tutors. However, he often went out for excursions and returned late at night. The door would be closed, and no knocking was heard before he entered the house. This led the family members to suspect he might be a fox spirit. Despite these suspicions, they couldn't find any malicious intent in him, so they continued treating him with respect and courtesy. Knowing that the host had a daughter who wanted to propose marriage, but each time he hinted, the host pretended not to understand. One day, Hu told the host that he needed to go out for something, and upon receiving permission, he left. The next day, a guest arrived to visit the host, bringing a black donkey with him. After entering the house, the guest, who appeared to be in his 50s and dressed elegantly, revealed that he was there to propose on behalf of Hu. The host remained silent for a long time before saying, "I and Mr. Hu are already close friends. Why must we become relatives? Besides, my daughter is already promised to someone else. Please convey my gratitude to Mr. Hu for his kind intentions." The guest persisted, and the host firmly declined. The guest, a bit displeased, asked, "How can Mr. Hu, from a respected family, not be a suitable match for your family?" The host directly replied, "Let's be honest. We are not the same kind." This angered the guest, and an argument broke out. The guest physically grabbed the host, and in response, the host had his servants beat the guest with sticks and drive him away. The guest's donkey also fled. The onlookers realized that the donkey's fur was black. It had large ears and a long tail, but despite its size, it wouldn't move when pulled. A strike would cause it to instantly collapse, revealing it to be a grasshopper in disguise. Anticipating that the guest might seek revenge, the host had his household prepared for defense. As expected, a large group of fox soldiers attacked the next day. There were cavalry and infantry, some armed with spears and others with bows and arrows. The noise of shouting and neighing filled the air. The host dared not venture out. The fox soldiers threatened to set the house on fire, escalating the fear. A brave member of the household led the charge against the fox soldiers, resulting in clashes with casualties on both sides. The fox soldiers gradually retreated, leaving behind some swords and knives that shone like frost. However, upon closer inspection, they were merely stalks of sorghum leaves. The incident left people chuckling, questioning the grandeur of the fox soldiers' abilities. But they remained cautious, reinforcing their defenses. 3 days passed without any further attacks from the fox soldiers. The household members began to relax. One day, as the host was using the restroom, the fox soldiers launched a volley of arrows at him, hitting his buttocks. He shouted and ordered his family to counterattack, and the fox soldiers eventually withdrew. Upon removing the arrows from his buttocks, the host found that they were actually stems of Artemisia vulgaris. Over the following month, small skirmishes continued, causing annoyance and unease, necessitating constant vigilance. The host was troubled by the continuous disturbances. One day, Hu himself led the fox soldiers to attack. The host confronted him directly. Seeing the host, Hu felt somewhat embarrassed and initially hid behind the other fox soldiers. The host called him out, and only then did Hu emerge to meet him. The host questioned him, asking why he repeatedly led forces to disrupt their lives despite the cordial relationship they had. The fox soldiers were preparing to shoot arrows at the host, but Hu immediately stopped them. The host approached and shook hands with Hu, inviting him into the house and arranging a feast. The host calmly said, "You are an intelligent person, and I believe you can understand. Given our friendship, how could I be unwilling to form a kinship with you? However, your house, vehicles, and horses are different from those of humans. Marrying my daughter to you might not be appropriate. Moreover, as the saying goes, a melon forcibly twisted is not sweet. What are your thoughts?" Who felt ashamed, the host continued, "It's not a problem. Our friendship remains, if you don't mind that we are ordinary people. I have a young son who is only 15 or 16 years old. He's willing to marry someone from your family. Is there a suitable girl?" Who joyfully responded, "I have a younger sister, a year younger than your son. She is not unattractive and is willing to marry your son. Would that be agreeable?" Both sides expressed gratitude, and they exchanged toasts. The host also arranged a feast for the fox soldiers who had come along. Everyone was in high spirits. The host then inquired where Who was residing and prepared to send the marriage gifts. Who declined, saying he would send them later. They continued drinking until dusk, and Who returned home inebriated. From then on, the host's household lived in peace. A year passed, and Who still hadn't returned. The host began to suspect that Who had forgotten about the marriage proposal, but he continued to wait. After another half year, Who suddenly reappeared. After exchanging pleasantries, Who said, "My younger sister has grown up. Please choose an auspicious day for the wedding so she can come and serve her parents-in-law." The host was overjoyed and immediately arranged the wedding date. On the appointed night, cars, horses, and people arrived to escort the bride. The bride's dowry was abundant, filling an entire new room. The bride was exceptionally beautiful, and she exhibited gentle and respectful manners toward her new parents-in-law. The host and his wife were thrilled. Who and his younger brother accompanied the bride, both displaying refined demeanor and consuming copious amounts of alcohol. The brothers continued drinking until daybreak before departing. After the bride entered the house, she demonstrated an ability to predict the prosperity and adversity of the years ahead. She often advised her parents-in-law on household matters, and they followed her guidance in their daily lives. The two brothers from the Who family and their mother frequently visited, and everyone in the family came to know them.
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.